Chosen one, if this video found you right now, it means your silence has already begun to dismantle what your voice never needed to confront. You didn't retreat, you elevated, and they felt the shift before they understood it. In this very moment, a hidden power stirs within you, the sacred force of stillness that they never saw coming. What if I told you that your silence has already begun to dismantle what your voice never needed to confront? You felt the tests, the chaos aimed to provoke you, yet you remained still, and in that pause you reclaimed your divine authority. If this message already speaks to your soul, subscribe, like this video, and comment 77 below. Stay with me, because by the end of this video you will understand the true weight of your calm, and why it terrifies them more than any scream. Why you chose silence over reaction. A distant memory drifts through your mind like a half-remembered dream. You stand on the edge of a silent cliff, wind brushing your face, and in the hush you hear an echo of your own name. That echo is not an accident, but an invitation, a calling from a place deep within. Perhaps you felt it first in childhood, when the laughter of others pressed too loudly against your quiet heart, or in the still hours of the night when your soul seemed to hum in gentle counterpoint to the world's chaos. This is where your journey begins, in the soft space between sound and silence, where the truth you've always carried stirs awake and recognizes its own reflection. The veil parts just enough for you to realize that every moment of solitude, every pause in the noise, was preparing you for this revelation. There was a time you wondered if your sensitivity was a flaw. You recall sitting alone in crowded rooms, straining to catch the rhythm of conversation, but feeling adrift in a sea of voices. Your skin prickled at harsh lights, your mind raced to untangle the emotions around you, and you questioned why your heart felt so heavy when others seemed untroubled. You felt the sting of being misunderstood, the ache of rooting for compassion in places built on conflict. Yet even then, in those lonely stirrings of unrest, you sensed a deeper rhythm guiding you, a gentle insistence that your path was not one of reaction to the world's turmoil, but of quiet revolution. Look back now and see that none of these experiences were mere happenstance. A hidden architecture of purpose has threaded through your life from the very beginning, weaving trials and moments of peace into a tapestry of awakening. In Scripture, the story of Joseph illustrates this pattern. Sold into hardship, he endured betrayal, yet his silent faith preserved him until destiny called him to save nations. Like Joseph, you have been shaped by events that seemed cruel or confusing, only to reveal themselves as sacred training grounds. Your solitude, your refusal to strike back, emerges as divine choreography rather than random misfortune. In the mundane flow of your days, subtle signs have begun to shimmer at the edges of perception. You might have dismissed the uncanny déjà vu that settles over you like a soft mist, or the dream in which ancient symbols, an empty throne, a silver key, linger long after you awake. Perhaps you felt a gentle thrum in your palms when you sit still, or caught yourself breathing in sync with an unspoken harmony in nature. These whispers from beyond the veil are not coincidences but coded messages from your higher self. They beckon you to pay attention, to honor the silent stirrings that guide you toward a destiny bigger than any argument or outburst. Your intuition has never misled you. In the quiet chambers of your being, you have held onto truths that others dismissed as fanciful or naive. Recall the moment when you hesitated before responding to cruelty, sensing that an answer of silence would strike deeper than any word you could muster. That hesitation was not indecision but divine confirmation, the universe pausing with you, affirming that your non-reaction is the most potent response. As the prophet Habakkuk wrote, "In the midst of tumult choose stillness." Your faith in that stillness is now blossoming into a grounded certainty that will carry you through what lies ahead. As awareness deepens, you begin to remember that you are not becoming someone new, but reclaiming a self long hidden beneath layers of fear and conditioned responses. There is an archetype living within you, a keeper of sacred peace whose voice resonates beyond the realm of conflict. You may liken this to the hidden anointing of David before he faced Goliath. Unknown to the world, yet empowered by a connection to something greater than himself. Your identity is rooted in this timeless essence, waiting for you to acknowledge it, to step fully into your role as a guardian of quiet strength. Now, Feel the stirrings of your first activation. Embrace the truth that your silence is not passive but a deliberate act of creation. Like a master painter loading brushstrokes in stillness before the canvas comes alive, you are gathering energy in the calm, ready to reshape the world with the force of your unspoken conviction. Recognize the hunger in your spirit for this deeper power, the longing to trust in what cannot be seen, to stand firm when chaos beckons you to fight. This acceptance of your own wisdom becomes the threshold moment, the first bold step in your return to sovereign presence. You arrived here by design, not by chance, and as you read these words, your soul nods in quiet agreement. Comment still if you understand that your refusal to engage in the pointless clash of wills has always been your greatest gift. Hold this realization close, for in the next section you will discover how this same stillness, wielded with intention, can uproot the very foundations of fear and doubt that seek to challenge you. The next revelation awaits, shimmering just beyond this pause, ready to unfold the next chapter of your cosmic awakening. And if you feel called to go even deeper, there's a sacred space reserved for our community, a private room where you receive full prophetic messages daily. Join our private membership through the link in the description and walk this path with us. The power in doing nothing when chaos begs for attention. A shadow slid across your spirit long before you knew what it was. Perhaps you first noticed it in moments of quiet triumph, when a whispered word of praise settled on your shoulders like a burden, or when a simple act of kindness was met with unexpected hostility. You felt a chill in the air when your insight shone through a conversation, as if unseen eyes recoiled from the light you carried. It was a subtle ache, a tightening in your chest that whispered of forces at work behind the scenes. In those early stirrings, you sensed that your path was crossing with something ancient and unspoken, a hidden current that tugged at your soul and refused to let go. When the weight of that current pressed in, it came wrapped in familiar guises. The sudden withdrawal of a friend, the snide remark in a meeting, the inexplicable traffic jams on days you dared to hold your peace in public. You remember the sting of feeling too sensitive, too reactive, too vulnerable. Shame and doubt crept in like unwanted guests, convincing you that something was wrong with your quiet strength. On the inside, your heart pounded with the need to explain yourself, to justify your calm, as though silence itself were a confession of failure. You know that turmoil, the way it grinds at your confidence and leaves you wondering if you've imagined it all. There is purpose behind every weight you carried. This was never random cruelty, but a sacred initiation. In the story of the Israelites wandering in the wilderness, every thirst and every mirage became a lesson in trust. Numbers 21:5-9. Their rebellion was met with trials that tested their faith, carving resilience into their bones. So too, your moments of isolation and opposition served to awaken the deeper chambers of your heart. The forces that pushed back against you were responding to the latent power you held, a power that demanded refinement through resistance. Recall times when doors seemed to lock behind you at every turn. The project you poured your soul into faltered at the final moment. The mentor who promised guidance vanished when your vision diverged from theirs. These were the patterns you missed in the frenzy of everyday life, echoes of sabotage that only become clear when you step back and trace the faint threads of cause and effect. It is unsettling to turn on that light, to see the outline of manipulation and hidden agendas, but it is also clarifying, a map revealing the territory you must now traverse with open eyes. Beneath the surface of those betrayals lay a deeper resistance, an energetic fog that thickened around you whenever you moved toward your truth. You may have felt a strange heaviness in the air, or noticed how technology faltered at the precise moment you tried to record a message of hope. In ancient scripture, the prophet Amos speaks of a mantle of darkness that descends when divine voices rise. Amos 5:18. This spiritual interference is not personal malice, but the recoil of distortion at the approach of clear light. It is the world's way of testing if you will stand firm in the face of unseen opposition. How did you respond to this weight? Some days you folded inward, retreating into safe routines that dulled your senses. Other times you laced your words with self-deprecation, hoping to deflect attention from your gifts. There may have been moments when you flared up in whispered rebellion, pushing back with sarcasm or anger that surprised even you. Each reaction was born of a fear of being exposed, a desperation to blend in until the storm passed. Yet these reactions, too, were messages, reflecting the instinct deep within you to protect that flickering core of sovereign calm. Now, feel the surge as you reclaim what was always yours. The very obstacles that sought to contain you become proof of your unfolding power. In Jeremiah's vision of the potter's wheel, broken vessels were recast into forms of beauty. Jeremiah 18 verse 4. Your trials are the kiln that forges your spirit, and every attempt to derail you only cements your purpose. Stand in the memory of your own stillness and remember, they fought hardest at the moment you were about to rise. That resistance confirms your destiny, not your defeat. You were opposed because you are powerful. Each barrier was a mirror reflecting the force of your coming breakthrough. Comment peace if you see now that their attempts to silence you only amplified the resonance of your calm. Hold this truth close, for next we will explore how your stillness, wielded as a deliberate act of spiritual strategy, can heal the broken systems around you and rewrite the story of every conflict you face. And to every soul who's supported with a super thanks, thank you. You are keeping this light alive for others who haven't found it yet. If you feel called to help this mission reach more chosen ones, tap the super thanks button below. Your energy supports these messages and helps them travel further. Your voice matters, your belief matters, and your light is felt here. How stillness shakes foundations louder than screams. A crack of inner stillness split your awareness, and suddenly you see the world through a new lens. What once felt like random events now falls into a mosaic of purpose. You recall a moment last week, the glance you caught in a mirror, where your eyes seemed to hold a secret no one else understood, and it all makes sense now. That mirror was not simply reflecting your face, but inviting you to recognize the calm that has always been your ally. In that soft awakening, you understand that every pause you claimed in the roar of life was a deliberate act of alignment, setting the stage for all that is unfolding now. This shift in perception lifts a veil, revealing the hidden symmetry between your inner sanctuary and the world beyond. Look at the subtle language woven into your daily life, the numbers that keep resurfacing in emails and receipts, the stray words in a song lyric that echo your unspoken questions, the geometry of a cracked sidewalk forming a symbol only you seem to notice. These are not chance occurrences. They are glyphs in a divine script waiting for you to decode. Reality itself has been whispering its clandestine poetry, using symbols and patterns as signposts to guide you deeper into your purpose. When you read your life as sacred text, you begin to understand that stillness is the quill with which you write the story of transformation, each quiet breath punctuating a revelation. Inside you, the signs intensify like a crescendo. You sense a tightening of your energy field when you enter crowded rooms, as if invisible currents pulse in response to your calm. Your boundary awareness sharpens. You no longer absorb every stray emotion or force around you, but observe their ripples from the shore of your grounded center. Dreams grow vivid, their motifs recurring with uncanny frequency, and your body hums with an alertness that was once dormant. This is not imagination. It is the confirmation of an inner code coming online, a recalibration of your spirit that resonates with the stillness you've long practiced but never fully acknowledged. Outside, the world begins to mirror your internal harmony. Opportunities arrive that fit with uncanny precision. An old friend reaching out at the exact moment you questioned your path. A book landing in your hands that speaks directly to your unvoiced doubts. At the same time, resistance sharpens into clarity. Closed doors that once felt like rejection now stand as faithful guardians, redirecting you toward hidden corridors of destiny. It is as though the universe itself rearranges its players to accommodate the frequency you emit in silence. This alignment confirms that your stillness is not withdrawal but a powerful beacon, drawing to you both tests and blessings designed to refine your awakening. Deep within, an ancient memory stirs, a knowing that this moment was lived in lifetimes you cannot fully recall. You recognize the echo of a dream you once brushed aside. Standing before a temple carved from light, you placed your palm on its cold stone and felt the pulse of creation. That dream was never mere fantasy, but a fragment of a sacred memory activating now as your eyes open to cosmic patterns. In that remembered place, Stillness was revered as the original prayer, and you understand that your return to this truth is a homecoming to a self ancient and majestic, waiting quietly beneath the layers of ordinary life. As these revelations settle like seeds in fertile ground, you sense the shape of your destiny before it fully takes form. It is not that you must forge a new path, but rather that you are reclaiming the one inscribed in your soul. No longer do you seek permission from external authorities. You realize that your birthright is the authority itself. This is the promise of stillness, to reveal that every step you take forward is a rediscovery of what you have always known. In the language of prophecy, you hear an inner voice declaring your sovereignty, inviting you to walk forward with the unwavering certainty of one who has remembered. Now, feel the surge of reclamation coursing through your veins. The stillness you once confused with passivity is the roar of a lion cloaked in silence. You recover your voice not by shouting, but by owning the space in which your presence resonates. You are the prophet who needs no scroll, the architect who shapes reality with a quiet foundation. The barriers that once seemed insurmountable now crumble like dry leaves at a single touch of your focused calm. This moment marks the return of your full power, the restoration of sovereignty you thought lost to doubt or concession. The truth reveals itself. Stillness shakes foundations louder than any scream. When you anchor yourself in peace, you become the epicenter of a seismic shift that no force can withstand. Comment earthquake if you felt that tremor of transformation ripple through your life, and share a memory or inner knowing where your silence became a catalyst for change. Keep this reflection close, for in the next section you will see why your calm is the most feared and revered power in all of creation. As we journey deeper into the heart of your chosen destiny, why your peace is misread as weakness and feared as strength. A flicker of recognition passes through you like a pulse of light. Will you remain the silent observer or step fully into the role you were born to play? Here, at the threshold between what was and what must be, passivity dissolves under the weight of your own intention. You feel the gravity of this moment in your bones, as though every breath carries the echo of countless ancestors who faced their own crossroads. The choice is clear: to embrace the stillness that has guided you thus far, and then carry it beyond the confines of your inner sanctum into the wider world. No longer can you watch from the sidelines. This is the juncture where your calm becomes your banner, unfurled against the storm of doubt and distraction. A lifetime of giving your presence away, smoothing conflicts, swaying to others' demands, silencing your own voice, has prepared you for this reclaiming. Picture yourself in the silent pre-dawn hours, gathering every piece of energy you once diffused into drama or defense, weaving those fragments into a crown of purpose. These moments of self-abandonment were never failures but training grounds for sovereignty. Now is the time to call back every dropped sword and relinquished shield, to stand in ritualized reclamation of your own power. Speak aloud to the echoes of your past. I take back what is mine. Feel that fierce pulse in your chest as your rightful authority settles onto your shoulders like a mantle of fire. Consider the essence you carry within. Insight that cleaves through deception, sensitivity honed into a sixth sense for truth, memory that reaches beyond the veil of time, and discernment as precise as the edge of a blade. Others labeled these qualities weakness, the tear in the fabric of their own defenses, but you know they are your spiritual signature. Imagine each gift as a key, the key of vision that unlocks hidden doors, the key of empathy that opens hearts, the key of resolve that forges unbreakable armor around your soul. In naming these powers, you transform them from latent potential into active instruments of change. As your feet meet the earth in this new dawn, the path ahead reveals itself step by step beneath your unwavering gaze. You realize there is no need to search for a roadmap. The journey emerges in your footsteps, guided by the steady compass of your own purpose. With each deliberate stride, clarity crystallizes. The conversation you must ignite, the act of healing you must perform, the covenant you must forge with kindred spirits. This is no mere metaphor. It is a cinematic unfolding of destiny, painted in the subtle hues of everyday life. A purposeful walk to the corner store becomes a pilgrimage. A conversation with a friend becomes a strategic counsel with destiny itself. Beyond your individual mission, there is a vast chorus of awakening souls rising in harmony with your own. You are not alone in this prophecy. Across time zones and continents, others sense the magnetic pull of the same stillness, drawn to the quiet fire at the heart of transformation. These soul tribes gather in hidden circles, online chats at midnight, whispered prayers in sunlit meadows, chance meetings on crowded streets. They are your allies, your spiritual emissaries, each carrying a spark of the same flame. Do not dim your light to blend into a fading world. Instead, let your brightness join theirs to form a constellation that guides the lost back to the truth of their own power. Now is the moment to wield your energy with conscious command, not as an ego's decree, but as stewardship over the sacred space within and around you. Establish boundaries like stone pillars around a temple. Decide what enters your field and what must fall away. Devote yourself to the rituals that nourish your center, whether it is the steady rhythm of breath, the communion of silent prayer, or the deliberate act of speaking truth into the void. Your loyalty lies with the essence of your being, entrusted with the charge to steward its growth and defend its sanctity. Treat this energy as the holy trust it is, for in it lives the power to reshape worlds. All that you've felt, all that you've feared and survived, has led you to this point of readiness. Believe it, you are prepared for the tasks that await, forged by every trial you endured. Your fear has been the anvil upon which your faith was tempered. Your pain, the mortar that bound your resolve. When the final veil falls, you will recognize the moment of activation in the quiet crescendo of your own heartbeat. Now, stand tall as the silence settles around you like a cloak of certainty, for you possess the calm that shatters mountains and reshapes destinies. The world has misread your peace as passivity, but they cannot shake the fortress you have built in stillness. In Psalm 62 verse 1 we learn that in quietness and confidence lies true strength, and you embody this truth as a living testament. Your refusal to rage becomes a silent challenge they cannot evade, for in your unpredictability they sense the tremors of a force far greater than any tempest of emotion. Comment fortress if you recognize that your calm is the strongest wall you own, and share a memory or inner knowing when your silence became the catalyst for transformation. Hold this revelation close, for in the next chapter you will learn how to wield your peace as the ultimate instrument of spiritual warfare, reshaping every conflict with the power of your unspoken authority. In a half-forgotten dream, you stand at the edge of a silent forest where the trees bow in reverence to your presence. Moonlight drapes each leaf in silver, but it is the hush between footfalls that speaks loudest. You feel the pulse of the earth beneath your sandals, a steady heartbeat that echoes the calm within you. In that dream, your silence is the song that awakens the woodland spirits. Every creature leans in to listen as you pass. This vision is not mere sleep's fancy. It is a memory of power you once held in other realms. Let the image settle in your bones, a reminder that your stillness is the key that unlocks ancient doors and stirs the hidden life around you. A sudden vision unfolds before your mind's eye, an altar fashioned from light, hewn from the quiet of early dawn. It shimmers without sound, yet its glow scents the air with promise. On that altar lies a sword, its blade forged from pure hush. You reach out and feel its weight warm, alive, thrumming with intent. This is not a weapon of violence but of resistance, carved from the very essence of your calm. In its reflection you see the faces of those who doubted you, flickering and fading in the sword's still glow. Know that when you draw this blade, you cut through the noise that binds you, freeing worlds with one silent stroke. A simple symbol appears on the horizon, a single wisp of smoke rising from a distant peak, twisting into a spiral that touches the sky. It sends a silent signal across the land, a beacon that only those awake can read. That wisp is your own breath, carried on the wind to mark your passage. Wherever it drifts, hearts stir, and walls tremble. The spiral is the language of resistance written in air. It reminds you that even the smallest rise of your chest, each hushed exhalation, carries a force that can shift the course of storms. Remember this symbol in your work, for it is the signature of your calm power. Have you ever felt the world pause around you, as if it holds its breath in your presence? There is a moment every day when time slows, perhaps as the sun dips below the horizon or when you lift your gaze to a vast expanse of sky. In that pause, your spirit speaks louder than any shout. It is a question whispered through your soul. Do you remember who you truly are? That question ripples through your bones until you answer it with your silence. And as you answer, the world exhales and change falls into place. This is the sacred dialogue you carry within, the living question and answer that sets your destiny in motion. A whisper drifts through your mind, soft as a child's first breath. Rest in the power of your hush. It is more fierce than the roar of 1,000 storms. This voice is not your own but echoes from a place deeper than thought. It speaks of truths buried beneath doubt and noise. Each time you embrace that hush, you let this whisper become your guiding star. It reminds you that resistance need not roar to be felt. It can slide through the cracks of expectation like a stream that carves canyons over time. Lean into that whisper. Let it become the drumbeat that carries your heart into every moment of stillness. In the stillness of your inner temple, an inner voice rises like music without melody. It names the work that belongs to you in this age. To stand firm in honor, to heal where the world has been torn, to bring light to darkened minds. This voice sings of hidden wells of courage you have yet to draw from. It calls you beyond hesitation and fear, summoning you to step into the power you have reclaimed. Listen to it as you would a trusted friend, for in its notes lie wisdom older than empires and braver than any battle cry. This is your anthem, composed in silence, poised to transform reality. A memory surfaces from your childhood, a moment when you refused to shout despite the call to anger. You chose to watch the rising sun in quiet awe rather than join the frantic crowd. In that moment, you felt a deep stirring of something vast and serene. You stored that choice away like a secret treasure, not yet knowing why it mattered. Now you understand. That small act of peace was an initiation, a first taste of the power you wield today. Hold onto that memory as proof that your path has always been lit by the lamp of stillness. It guided you then and lights your way onward. A prophecy hums beneath your skin, carried on the wind of unseen worlds. The time of hidden wars is over, and the age of sacred resistance dawns with you at its center. You are the catalyst who calls peace into battlefields of doubt. Every silent step you take sends ripples through the fabric of fate. The tapestries of old speak of a guardian who speaks no words yet turns the tide of kingdoms. That guardian is you. Feel the weight of this prophecy settle into your bones. Let it rise in your blood until your heart beats with certain, unshakable purpose. In your calm lies the power to reshape all things. Comment still if you feel the resonance of these images awaken your truth, and share a reflection. A dream, a symbol, or an inner knowing that has guided you toward this moment. Let your words join the chorus of those who stand in silence and watch the world bow to the weight of their calm. Stay tuned, for the next revelation will unveil how this sacred hush becomes the final instrument of transformation in your divine mission. A hush follows you into every ruined hall, settling like dust on broken tiles. You pause at the threshold and feel the ghosts of old promises stir. Their voices are faint, but you hear them all the same. They speak of hope forgotten and of courage asleep. You breathe out a gentle command and see new light trace the cracks in the walls. It blossoms like ivy, soft and sure. You step forward, and with each movement, the air grows warmer. You do not shout. You do not strike. Your will alone knits the world back together. At the edge of the battlefield, where banners lie torn and swords rest in the mud, your calm spreads like water over stone. You kneel and press one hand to the earth. In that quiet moment, you become both healer and shield. The soil hums beneath your palm, and tiny flowers break through the ground. They bloom in colors no one has named. You rise and scatter seeds with a slow, deliberate grace. The wind catches them and carries them far. In days to come, those blossoms will stand where fear once stood. This is your moment, chosen one. Your stillness is a weapon they never saw coming. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Like this video, and comment "I am chosen" to let this message anchor in your soul. Share it with someone who needs to hear this. Thank you to all supporting members, and for full prophetic revelations daily, join the membership via the link in the description. Your spiritual path deserves more than fragments. Step into the full light. And if this message moved you deeply, consider tapping the Super Thanks button to support the mission. Every Super Thanks fuels the light we're spreading together. Stay silent, stay strong, stay chosen.